Alright, hello everybody and welcome to the Learn Dota 2 League, Season 13, Week 6! Luckily we're on the 2-minute delay, so shouldn't be an issue
10
there.
seconds remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
So,
Dire team ban.
for those of you joining us today, if you're wondering why the awkward silence is happening, it's because this match just randomly started while I was tabbed out of the game, and we just had to go. Still trying to worry about stand-ins for my own team. So, today, we got Epstein didn't nerf himself, making a rare second appearance here on this show. We got DaBush to 9-11, and of course this week we were supposed to be taking a second look at the Princess team, but the Princess team isn't playing today, so instead we got Princess on the cast. How you doing, Princess?
I'm doing good, how are you?
Horrible. We also got Randy.
Hello.
Radiant team pick.
EDNH in a major rebuilding phase right now. It's doing a lot of roll flop, doing a lot of funny business to try and get their team back into sort of shape for contention moving forward. On the other hand, you've got DaBush did 9-11, who, you know, well, let's just call a spade a spade. If you've been following our cast, you've been seeing none of these guys, because this is the first week we've actually looked at one of their games since week 1, so that should be interesting.
It's been that long?
Yeah, we don't do casts that somebody else does, and every week somebody did the Manoy game.
Really? Manoy must just be a fan favorite.
I mean, mostly it's Matty Boy.
Oh, I see, I see.
Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Night Stalker.
The Vex
Daywalker,
Night Stalker.
Picking it up very early, want to have something for the Mars. So a very interesting scenario, the Night Stalker Mars. Something that I figured out the hard way, actually, is that even if Night Stalker's on the spear, he's still considered flying if he was flying
Yes.
before. So you can't, like, spear him to the arena wall if he's Season 13, Week 6! Luckily, we're on the 2-minute delays.
Grimstroke.
And everybody heard me talking for 1 second because Twitch unmuted itself for no reason again. Always a classic.
This is, like, some pretty meta stuff coming out right here, I feel like,
Yeah.
compared to, like, what was, like, getting picked in, like, the major
10 seconds remaining.
that just concluded today.
Sure
Shout
did.
Shout out to
5 seconds remaining.
Cranberry Splite, who has glucked us in chat.
Dire team ban. Radiant team ban.
There's nothing else to do today, so.
A Tinker band coming out. Huh.
Tinkerband, I mean, they're just looking at Manoy, aren't they?
I guess they did pick a Night Stalker. Night Stalker Tinker is, like, a pretty decent combo.
Right.
10 seconds
I mean,
remaining.
Manoy's going to run Tinker a lot of times, whether or not the combo is necessarily
5
good.
seconds
It's just,
remaining.
you know,
Hmm.
one of his signatures.
I wonder what else they will ban out here. I could see them considering like an SF ban, but I also know US Danny plays that mid, so I don't know if they want to ban that for themselves. Because they also play it, and I don't think the hero is like super strong, but
Dire team ban.
ban Medusa.
Looking at the bush there.
Radiant team ban.
I think Jug would be a good ban for the Baladec team. I think
Yeah,
the
probably.
Bush Jug is pretty good, and it's like a good landing against Mars, and they have a Shadow Shaman already, so
And it's
that's
also
probably
going to
a
be
good ban.
something that's going to inert both the arena and to a large degree Grimstroke during fights.
10 seconds.
Because you can't
remaining.
Omni Slash when you're Grimstroke alted, so
5 seconds remaining.
it's kind of like a soft counter to Grimstroke. As long as you don't get
Dire team
ghosted.
ban.
Yep, there's the Jug.
They're listening to you!
Dire team pick.
There's a PL ban. So PL's alright against Night Stalker. I think if Night Stalker's like behind, I think the PL's much better. But if Night Stalker is like ahead, I don't think PL's really that great because you have your AoE silence and Night Stalker can't really get out of it.
Right.
10
On one
seconds
hand,
remaining.
in the mid game, I think it's pretty decent matchup for Night Stalker. But on the other hand, I don't think Night Stalker lanes all that well into most PL lanes.
I think it depends a lot more on the support. 'Cause I think PL right now is kind of just a weak laner. So
Well,
Skywrath
the thing is that PL has a lot of, even if he is a weak laner, as far as like physically right-clicking people, Spirit Lance is still going to do a pretty hefty amount of burst damage to you. It's still going to have that illusion trailing you to keep track of where you are. That's two big things that Night Stalker doesn't really like to deal with in lane. You put a decent support with him, it's pretty hard to deal with. Got a CK here, that's probably one CK.
CK is really good this game for them. It kills both of the supports on the Dire like relatively easily through most of the game. Night Stalker really can't do much to it other than silence it. But
yeah,
CK is a lot of the time get a BKB, so
yeah,
Right.
A, he's gonna get a BKB quick. B, even if Night Stalker does have the silence ring up, there's not really a lot Night Stalker can do if CK ults and hits W on him. Like, he can hit W on him from outside the silence range and then not care when he's in it, just beat the crap out of Night Stalker anyway.
this Mirana pick's pretty good too. They have lots of stuff to set it up. They have the CK Bolt, the Mars is nice with Mirana.
10 seconds remaining.
They can lock it down though with the silences, but I think for the most part they won't be able to really get onto it.
Radiant team back.
They've kind of pretty good front line. Ursa.
Roar!
I think Ursa's only alright this game. I think a Bloodseeker probably would have been a better hero, but
I don't think Ursa versus CK is a particularly good matchup for the Ursa.
I also don't think for like the first like
5 seconds
25 minutes it's very good against Mars either. I think the Mars can kind of bully it in lane
Dire team back.
because he
Right.
doesn't really get the stuff from early. But they do have a Shadow Shaman, which can kind of help. But the Mirana is also like a really strong lane, so I think if this lane needs to go really well for them.
Yeah, the big thing
Ursa
is like, already Ursa CK is just not a great matchup for the Ursa, but I think the context of the lineup just makes it
10
even
seconds
worse.
remaining.
Like, the fact that you're going to be able, you've got Ursa versus CK, and then you also got the arena to play with. Let's say, okay, 25 minutes is over. Ursa has his BKB. Ha ha ha. Ha 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 ha. I don't care about arena anymore. While the rest of your team still sure does, and that's going to knock them in very large part out of the ability to support Ursa very effectively. While, you know, Grimstroke, Mirana, Mars are not going to be able to be stopped by the rest of his lineup to any significant degree right now.
I also think right now the Dire draft is really lacking in like
Radiant
good
team pick.
like sustained damage. So if they don't burst someone, they're gonna be in like a lot of trouble. Cause like the CK, if it doesn't get burst right away, he's gonna heal up when he two shots the supports, and like Mars is hard to like burst too. So if it's gonna be like really hard for him. I
10
think if they can't like
seconds
burst
remaining.
someone.
They're also fairly low on actual stuns, especially anything that hits an
seconds
area, which is going to make fighting CK pain, and is going to make winning in the arena pain. Like, they pretty much got Shaman for CC right now, and that's it. I mean, you got slows on Night Stalker and Skywrath, and like, once Bashers start coming out, that'll be helped a little bit, but that's a long time.
I think too on the CK and Mars, once they get a BKB, like you don't really have ways to kill them.
Right.
Because you'll have it'll be just Ursa, and Ursa can get locked down, I think, and just die, and the other heroes are just gonna be able to just watch. So they're gonna need a lot out of their last pick.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very... I mean, it is Manoy, more than likely, coming out for last pick, so if there is somebody who can... if there is somebody who you can build a team around from mid, Manoy is definitely that guy.
I wonder what he's thinking. I think we could probably see like a Queen of Pain here, or like a Lena or something, some like kitey with like a little bit of burst hero for Danny here. I mean, yeah, probably something like one of those two. I think he's been playing a lot of co-op recently too, so.
Dire team pick.
Odie. Okay, that's pretty good here too, I think. I wonder what Manoy will pick against that.
Yeah, that's interesting. That is going to be... You know, OD, he loves lane. When he's mid, he loves to lane. He loves to stay in that lane. He loves to make things
10
as miserable as
seconds
possible for the other guy, unless his matchup is absolutely horrible. And I think if
Five
if
seconds
Manoy
remaining.
plays a horrible matchup for OD, like all the heroes that fall under that purview are also heroes that are not going to be able to win this game for the most part.
They do have a lot of time to think about this pick. I could see them picking like a Pugna or something maybe, but I don't know how well that would go like into the game later.
Yeah, I feel like if they get
Positioning
Pugna,
really
they're
important.
just
They have the pick here, so
I think they need something that can do stuff when they have BKBs, because I think right now they have a real problem with 3 heroes that will get a BKB, and then the only way they can kill someone is with Ursa.
right. I think Pugna right now, yeah, it's just because of the BKB invincible thing, and just because it's just another thing that really isn't going to want to see CK at all ever. Isn't going to want to really see the Grimstroke either. It's good against the OD personally, but like really doesn't help against any of the other guys. Now, usually Pugna versus CK wouldn't be that bad for Pugna, but the problem is you put it with the context of having the Grimstroke, Mirana, and OD behind him, and it starts getting a lot worse for him really fast. You know, it doesn't matter if you decrypt yourself or him at the perfect time if the ink swells on. And you can never decrypt him anyway because the illusions, but it doesn't matter if you get the perfect decrypt on yourself if the illusions, or not the illusions, the ink swell is on, because you're just going to be sitting there scratching your ass the entire duration of it. Especially if you still have Zabul to play with.
very important last pick coming up here.
Very important. It's going to have to be game-changing, I think, because right now the EDNH draft, I think, is just going to be generally better than what DaBush is bringing to the table.
This isn't really like a free Ursa game either.
Ooh,
So they go
okay.
Clinks. I think Clinks is alright against OD. Clinks will have a problem, I think, in the like 15 to like 30-minute mark, where the other team is just going to be much stronger than Clinks is. But if they can get into like 40-minute like kind of game, and they've got farm on DaBush and Manoy, I think
They just win, yeah.
they can win. They can win this game. I think that's how they win this game. They have to go later, because the CK Mars OD will kind of fall off once they've got like items on Manoy, and they can't like just like kill them at the starts of fights.
I don't know. I don't know if CK with this lineup is ever going to have, because the thing is, I think with the Clinks, you don't really have the space like for Ursa. You don't really have space for Ursa because you got to be really protecting both of them to a very equal degree, right? You're not going to have the ability to keep the kite off of Ursa, and I feel like because of that, you know, if they're through the game able to keep Ursa separated from the affair, I don't know if there's a time in this game where CK doesn't, if he's getting farm himself, he doesn't just hit ult, grab Clinks, and just pound him to shreds.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think this is like a pretty free CK game, and then it's like a really good OD game on top of that, as long as like OD doesn't get jumped first. So
Yeah, the big important thing here, I think, is that like Clinks and Ursa can't go slip sliding away. Like, gotta lag a bit here. There we go. Clinks and Ursa can't go slip sliding away. If Clinks starts going really out of control really fast, if he's like preying on supports a lot, if he's getting to the point where CK is not just going to be able to phantasm and just smash into bits, then it's going to be a very, very bad situation, because like that's just what he's going to have to do anyway. Because you're going to want to save Ursa for last as CK in these fights, that's for sure. Just keep Ursa away and smash the Clinks, right?
mm-hmm.
But if you
Good luck
aren't...
to all but Blue Jay.
Yeah. If you aren't going to be able to do that, though, it's feeding time. If you aren't going to be able to do that, if you aren't going to be able to just smash Clinks, keep Ursa away, if you aren't going to be able to do both of those things, it's going to be very bad. That's going to basically just kind of be the net worth race. Like, it's like, as long as it's still a race, as long as it's competitive, I think the EDNH team should have the advantage. But if it starts going really heavily in Manoy's favor, I don't think they can really scrape a comeback out of it. And
Yeah,
that's an
I'd
interesting
agree
scenario.
with that.
That's an interesting scenario because I don't think the reverse is necessarily true. I think if EDNH starts going out of control and Manoy's team is able to scratch a comeback out of there, it is a possibility. I think it's unlikely. I think it's very hard for them to do that if EDNH starts going pretty out of control, but Skyrise is going to bully
the arrow here.
through.
They're gonna get the top. They're gonna get the first blood. Oh no.
Fairy Fire.
Nope.
I think
Fairy
we can
Fire
pretend that
moment.
never
All
happened.
right.
I think we can pretend that never happened.
Potentially. Hollywood is not done with Grimstroke yet down at bot, still playing very aggressively against it. Anyway, now for everybody's favorite part of the cast. Pause 1, we got, for Epstein didn't nerf himself, you got Blue Jay on the
Blue
Chaos
Jay,
Knight.
yeah.
Pause 2, you've got US Danny on the OD. Pause 3, captain of the team Baladec on the Mars. Pause 4, you've got absolutely nobody. Just kidding, you have Carp on the Murana. And pause 5, you have not a 12-year-old boy on the Grimstroke. Meanwhile, on DaBush to 911, pause 1, you've got its namesake, not the captain, but its namesake, DaBush. Pause 2, you've got, I don't know why I clicked Skywrath, we got Manoy, captain of the team, on Mayhoy Manoy, Doodlebob himself, on the Clinks. Pause 3, you've got Vex on the Night Stalker. Pause 4, you've got Skywrath Mage being played by Hollywood. And pause 5, you've got Pohohoro on the Shadow Shaman. It's going to be a tough game, I think, for the Night Stalker. He really does not have many favorable matchups here. He can, like, jump Murana if Murana is in a really bad position, and he can bully Grimstroke, and that's, like, all he can do. I think all the cores kick his ass, one way or the other. Like, OD, if he's able to really close well on OD, but he has to, like, it has to go perfectly for him for that to be feasible.
His lane's going really well right now, though. So
Yeah,
I
it
think
is going super
I think
well.
his, like, the CK didn't got kind of bullied down early because Grimstroke was so low, and then Skywrath and Night Stalker just kind of clicked him, and he couldn't like step up to hit creeps. And Night Stalker got a ton of denies. He's at 7 right now.
Right. By the
He did
way,
split this first,
This
but
was a useless kill.
there's
Or
nothing that
happened.
can stop this man. I don't know why not a 12-year-old is getting tipped.
he died, I think, didn't he? Wasn't he first
Well,
blood?
nope.
Wait, who
Carp
was it?
was
It was all
first blood.
top. It was Carp.
Yeah.
Why did they tip
Yeah.
12-year-old?
Not sure.
Oro getting pinned.
Return kill?
Was grace.
Nope, too slow.
Just barely. If
No, he
Baladec
gets
gets,
it.
the attack.
Oh, he didn't.
Oh,
He should have
Oh
just
my
kept
God.
chasing.
Yeah, should have
And
just
that-
kept chasing,
oh.
waited for the mana up to roll over and
Dire's
shield
middle
bash
tower
there.
is under attack.
Pepe hands. A little bit of a misplay.
Yeah.
They do have the Ursa alone now, and they're just kind of clicking him in the waves in a nice spot.
There is
Yeah,
there is one thing at the very least that's pretty important about this lineup. Pretty important about this matchup. It is that this particular top matchup. I don't think Baladec is like a big Mars guy. I mean, he has like a decent symbol on his name, but I don't think he's played Mars much in a long time. Certainly, I don't think any time at all really during this patch. So he is going to be a bit out of practice with Mars, and I do think that's going to lead to situations like this. This bot lane is incredible for the offlane right now. Everything
15
gotta
and
go to
8.
the paver. Yep. 15 over 8 for Night
yeah,
Stalker. 5
Ursa and
over
NS
CK.
are both the winning lane
I
right
also
now.
think this Night Stalker now is just got his second bracer. I think he's like in a really good spot. He won't be able to get harassed. He's gonna be so tanky. They're not gonna be able to do anything.
Good shot on the clarity on Skyrath Mage from the Grimstroke. CK needs his own racers, that much is pretty obvious. Grimstroke continually inkswell on the CK, even at times where the CK isn't really able to do anything off of it. He's bringing another set of tangos in, which is always sad to see on a puzzle. You know,
Only
the
got 6 blast hits on CK right now.
the comparison
Yeah,
between
the
CK
CK
and
is
versus
doing
Lassiter.
very badly, and Ursa is doing extremely well. So
Right.
the pause ones, we're seeing who's winning the pause one matchup.
I think this is like ideal if you're Dire right now that the CK's game's going bad and your Ursa's doing pretty good.
Yeah, when
And you're
CK
playing
is your
super
victory
farm.
condition, more or less, no matter what happens, and it's going this bad for him, it's too early for OD to gank or anything. Definitely good news. OD so far is modestly on top at mid. He is up a few last hits and up many denies. Every time Manoy gets a little close to the lane, he just eats a Q to the face. So there's
I
that.
think
if
we
nothing
might
else.
see a solo kill mid here pretty soon, depending on how low Manoy gets. Because when he gets this meteor hammer on OD, yeah, he did take his ult, so he's definitely really
Ooh,
killable
Blue
now.
Jay's gonna die. Okay.
Ooh.
Super important.
It's pretty big.
Yeah, the
Actually,
CK's
this
lane was
happened.
already going bad enough without that happening. Now it can just straight up be called a less.
He is going to get a little bit of time on the other side of this, if nothing else, once he responds, because both guys in this lane are very low and they're out of region. So there's going to be some time where Skywrath and Night Stalker are going to be unable to do much. Going to give CK a little bit of free time here, which is good. I think CK, if CK plays his cards right, he can lose this lane and still do fine in the game. I don't think Night Stalker winning this lane to this degree, unfortunately for him, I don't know how big of an effect that's going to have. I mean, it could. It could definitely have one here. I'm going to try and go for the revenge kill. You're just not going to get that on Night Stalker
No.
Knight.
I think Night Stalker needs to turn it into some like early rotation and getting like a kill on this OD or something with like a good lane.
Right.
Because otherwise it's just kind of like a wasted.
Because he's, no matter what happens, I don't think he does that great in the mid game. He still has a lot on his plate to deal with once CK starts getting even modestly online. Like, he's still going to be basically just a support bully and really nothing more when this is over. And I think that's kind of irrespective of the amount of money he gets. So you can definitely lose this and come back as CK.
Oh,
You definitely
mid.
have to do that. Manoy's
Yep,
Manoy got run over while we were looking at not a 12-year-old
Bottom
boy
two.
getting hit bot. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was inevitable though. It's just how OD kind of plays, and Clinks doesn't really have a mechanism to escape it.
Right, Manoy definitely did not pick Clinks in order to win the lane. That much you can obviously
Yeah.
tell, I think.
So kind of
Dire's
expected
bottom
and
tower is under attack.
not too relevant if
I
Clink is still
I
farming,
think the
which he
kill.
is.
Yeah, I don't think that kill matters a ton, as this meteor hammer is not as good as it was last patch.
Right.
Yeah.
The damage like over time isn't like nearly as good, so the meteor hammer itself kind of
Arena.
falls off. Oh.
They're gonna arena for Shaman up here.
Not actually going to get it either, because Shaman just immediately stuns all
Oh,
the
he might
creatures.
get it. He might get it.
But DaBush might kill Baladec.
Radiant's
Nope.
bottom
Nope.
tower
More
They
is
did get
attack.
the
under
kill.
attack.
Carp did get the kill.
Yeah.
He might be
And
in trouble now, though.
Skyrath Mage went down bot as well. OD going to TP up top.
Dire's
run
middle
down
tower
Carp.
is under attack.
The world will hardly notice.
I think Ursa will just TP. Yeah.
Ooh, I
he's
think
gone.
Danny's gonna fight him.
Nope.
Radiant's
Oh,
bottom
wow.
tower
I'm
is under
surprised he
attack.
didn't.
If he got that, that would have been like
Super
so
big.
bad for Ursa, and
That-
if he would have had no TP.
That would have been disastrous. Yeah. But Danny was not actually able to find him
But
there.
Ursa takes the win.
But OD will be fine with the support, I think. At the very least.
Yeah.
Big kill top again. This Mars is having a pretty good game right now. He's rushing Blink Dagger.
Radiant's
I
bottom
think
tower is under
that's like
attack.
something they really need. This OD and Mars to kind of take over the game because your CK needs a lot of space right now.
Right. He is retired to jungle at this point. He is no longer want any part of this lane. One of the nice things about CK is that even though it is a bit slow, at the very least he's a hero that can really easily jungle at very low levels. Especially if pulling out. I actually think it would have been better to stay with a chipped vest to help give him some actual damage against the camps rather than the broom handle here.
I think the broom handle's alright. I think the
It is alright. It's nothing.
The extra attack range and damage is alright. It gives strength too,
Dire's
or
top
armor.
tower
I mean,
is under attack.
I think if chipped vest is actually one of the better ways to just like do camps early. Like it really speeds them up way more than you probably think it does, just looking at the actual numbers on it.
Radiant's bottom
You know,
tower
just
is
because,
under
especially camps with like large numbers, like the Force A tier camp, for example, you're gonna be doing those a lot faster, just because of how just how many times your chip vest is just gonna inevitably roll there. Warcarp is harassing Ursa in the jungle here, has invaded jungle to a very large degree, and forced him to back off to the T2 mid tower camp.
DaBush is opting to go for the battle free build on Ursa this game.
Yep.
I don't know if that is the correct thing this game. I think they could have upped the tempo. Ooh, Danny's looking with this in his room.
Oh, okay, they see him though.
And they're dropping a lot on Danny's
they're
head.
gonna run him down. Dead.
Tries to drop a desperation, but oh my god, Mirana's in the back.
It's fine.
Oh, but
Dead.
Manoy is able
Yeah.
to eat a creep at the last second.
That sentry up there saved him. Oh, he's not gonna take out 30 health.
Yep. Again, that death pact came up at the perfect possible time.
I think if Danny didn't try to channel his meteor hammer and just right click the clinks, he kills him. Because he had like
Probably 30
yeah,
HP
they had-
on the dot. Yeah.
like you do enough in right clicks even without your orb.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
We might see a Radiant try to be a little more aggressive here now, though, because there's no nighttime for 3.5 minutes, and there's no Night Stalker ult. So
Right.
Dire's top tower is under
There's no
attack.
Clink Salt either. And even if Night Stalker was big right now, he has no TP. Ursa's trying to do the Radiant
Mars
jungle
Blink's
here.
up there. It looks like they're
Is under attack.
Mars Blink is up. They're looking to try to make a play. They're not gonna get anything though. Spotted
still
it out
got
on the
Hollywood.
ward.
Nope, no Hollywood today.
I think it would have been better. Oh, mid.
US Danny
Danny
has US Danny's greed has gotten to him here.
That's good play coming off from the Dire.
Dire's bottom
They had
tower
just
is
everyone
under
with Rainbow
attack.
TP'd.
You can definitely tell the difference in the support lines here, because DaBush in 9/11 has insane vision all over the map. Both Hollywood and
Yep.
Bohohoro are dropping wards everywhere, and it feels like EDNH just has a couple of sentries and just a couple of normal spots, and so far hasn't really been helping them. Notably, pretty much no observers, which in fairness is partially due to the fact that about half the time they just go down. They're gonna look to try and get the get some work done mid.
Okay.
Two different.
Oh, this
Oh, the
one over
arena.
jail. Big arena. 3 going down.
Arena.
CK gets to watch it. I don't know if he was even close enough to get some money out of that. We'll see on the recap. Nope, he wasn't
It's just
actually
the
in
three
his.
moves, right? You don't get like a super MVP from that.
They were just like kind of overly, I guess extended there. Just those, they didn't have their clinks, they didn't have any spells, and OD just respawned. So just kind of like a little bit of an overextension. I think they felt a lot stronger than they actually were, because they, even though they're up, I don't think their team fight is nearly as strong as the Radiance is when they hit all their spells.
And while they didn't get a super VIP off of that, they did just put a lot of money into OD and Mars's pockets, and that'll help them continue to keep the game open for CK to keep catching up.
Ooh, top.
Baladec is gonna get run out here.
He might be fine.
I
He's spirit
think
away.
He's a-okay. That was a very unnecessary Mirana ult, I think. Unless they're going to try and turn it around on them here, but DaBush and Bohohoro are not having any of that. They're just running right out of town. They're standing under sentry here again.
They don't have an arena.
Arrow's
Play with.
out.
We'll dodge the
Arrow
arrow.
gets none.
Oh,
And OD
once
goes
again,
goes
they
down
all
again.
they all get on
Yeah.
Danny.
So, kind of the Shaman and Ursa are wasting time here. Basically, they're wasting Mirana's time, Mars's time, just kind of looking at them without being able to do anything, and then US Danny gets gone on and killed, and there's no response because 3 people are busy kind of running at a kill. It's not gonna happen.
And notably, I should also say, US Danny definitely being over aggressive this game. He is definitely trying just when he's especially being alone. That's like what, the 3rd time now that he's died completely alone. You just can't do that as OD. There are some mids where you can get a lot of solo work done. OD is not on that list unless the enemy team is also consistently alone. Spoilers, history repeats itself. If they aren't alone the first time that you do it, and they aren't alone the second time you do it, and they aren't alone the 3rd time you do it, you know, they probably aren't going to be alone the 4th time either. CK is missing. Take a look at the net worth chart here. Right now, firmly favoring DaBush to 911. It is not a huge gap. CK is starting to slowly inch his way back. He's still the lowest net worth core, but he has at least caught up to his other 2 cores by this point. And is
Kind of, yeah. Not enough though.
he is set to pass him up fairly soon.
Everyone's about 1,000 gold up on their like respective at core-wise at least. They're like.
Yeah, I like how it's in a
on
nice
network.
it's a nice order. It's 2-3-1, 2-3-1.
I just think the ratings in like a really bad spot right now. There's a Battle Fury out on Ursa. Ursa's probably gonna get this Morbid Mask and look to Roche, and this if they get like a free first Roche, they could be just kind of like take over the game. Cause that'll be
Right.
all the way to Ursa's BKB.
4-man smoke. They're looking in the
We're
jungle.
looking at CK. CK's in danger here.
Everyone's on
He's
something.
dead. Okay, maybe not.
Oh, yeah.
Call an ambulance?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, he's
not
dead.
for me. Oh,
Call an
no,
ambulance,
Danny's
but
dead.
for him.
Vex is here. He's gonna
No
just gonna
detection.
poke.
I think Nightstock should probably have some dust that is sick, but
In
That's a
fairness, I
hindsight
think
thing.
the turnaround
the
there is
CK.
more from worrying about the follow-up because there is detection on Pohoro.
I think it's
Yeah, and
unfortunate that
they get the
Baladec didn't
CK,
beat
so
either.
it's kind of not necessary to press for more. You got the most important person to kill right now. Oh, they will run at Mirana as well.
Yep, and Mirana just going to
Similarly,
get in
execute
here.
her.
The Baladec lineup is definitely better, but I don't think they really understand why it's better. Which is funny. Usually Baladec's draft is distinctly worse, and they have better play. This time it's backwards build. This
Vex.
time.
Oh no! There you go. This is
Well,
where you're
now
Why?
Baladec figured it out the hard way.
There's a Roche going on right now too.
Yeah, there is, and they're gonna get it for free because the arena was used to get a kill that didn't happen.
That's such
Kind
an
of again just running
unfortunate.
into the same problem.
It's a very unfortunate
Oh my
matchup.
gosh, the bash is.
It's okay.
I don't really understand why Spear doesn't take flying away from you, but you know,
I shall not report.
Hollywood's not gonna report me, so at least there's
that's
that.
good.
Yeah, I mean, if they can keep wasting arenas and goes on kills that don't happen like that while getting other objectives, I think the team is in a very good spot.
I just think too, just based off the items, the dire one with like these greedier farming items, like early, and they're kind of getting away with it. Like Manoy went straight Maelstrom, and they went Battle for Ursa, and they're just like not getting they didn't get pressured because they did one layer lane, so
Right.
they're just like kind of getting away with this like greedy build.
I think
thing-
in 20 minutes
pulling
this
a
game was
larger
super
lead.
scary. Yeah.
The thing I was saying before before that happened is I think the Baladec lineup has a better draft this time, but they don't really understand why. They're not playing to its strengths to any real degree.
They're gonna poke Baladec down here.
Yeah, Baladec blinked in on a really good arena when his arena still had 5 seconds left till it came up. I'm not really sure what that was.
Let's clear out the CK illusions here.
Not sure why I wasn't microing those out. Definitely could have just farmed up another camp with those instead of just kind of sticking them there. So what do you do with the CK illusions when you ain't able to get that much done with them? I think Matt was no, it was it Derforgan or was it Matt? I think it was Matt was talking about that yesterday. I recorded
I don't
so
wanna
much
talk about it.
yesterday, it's all just a blur.
To farm with your illusions on CK.
yeah. You know, if
Yeah,
you can't,
It's the. I think for like the most part, like especially early, you want to just alt like off cooldown and use it to farm camps, and you farm like waves and stuff.
right?
So because it's like CK's
Radiant's bottom
And
tower
like, best way to farm.
the poignant thing is like even in a situation like there,
are fortified.
where the CK ulted for fighting, he did ult to fight, wasn't able to fight, rather than leaving the
Yeah,
illusions
couple
there,
people
just go
top
send him to
wave
farm.
Is under attack.
CK
They're
is
gonna
going to
ult on
die for
Blue Jay.
this.
Radiant's bottom tower
Yeah.
has fallen.
He's fine.
Vex wants Danny instead. And,
Yeah, that's very
we'll run.
interesting.
CK's gonna walk away, I think.
You know, there's a saying that we have in Tennessee, Texas.
Texas.
It goes like this, right? If you chase one rabbit,
They didn't chase two
You-
rabbits, they
you'll
just
get
chased one.
the rabbit.
So.
Well, they definitely chased two rabbits because the team is in general split up between CK and you know, Hollywood
They
and
will run down Baladec.
yeah, Hollywood and DaBush were going after the CK, but Vex was going after Danny there. Two rabbits were chased. You lose both.
I just had to lead them.
Anyways, there goes the Aegis. As I was
What a
saying.
strange
Yeah.
fight.
Yeah,
Dire's middle
Really
tower
odd, but I think DaBush will just walk away.
USD
Well,
gonna
Manoy
get caught in the trees
Tears
by
this
Manoy in the
thing
back.
apart. Yeah.
If you chase one rabbit,
tower is
you
under attack.
you get
Noise?
one rabbit.
I feel like Manoy's in the right
Radiant's
spot
top tower has
a
fallen.
lot in this game. Like, he just. Like, in the middle of these fights, he's just killing people.
If you chase two rabbits, you ain't gonna get a rabbit again.
That's true. But they did. They got the rabbit.
Ooh, they're hunting.
Good.
They might. Manoy's gonna find the CK.
Yeah, he is.
This is bad.
He wants
But he doesn't have
+1.
any ability to keep him here, and Blue Jay's Spidey senses are tingling. Well, yeah, his Spidey sense is definitely
Oh.
tingling.
Too late.
The bush is here. I don't think it is too late. Oh!
Radiant's
Oh,
Yeah,
Marsh
Manoy
is the one
just barely
who
living it
kill.
up there. Team was just too far away to do anything.
Manoy's out of control.
Oh,
Oh,
nice
good
ult in
enraged.
Ursa.
Alright,
This is
good
looking
play.
really bad for the Baladec lineup
Yeah,
at this
but-
point. The situation we mentioned earlier, where you know CK ults and just beats up Clinks and can't actually kill him. Well, there it is.
Yeah, there it is.
Exactly the thing mentioned earlier. And as we said, you know, if the Baladec team, you know, starts in the lead, right? They can be taken from them, but on the other hand, it is a lot harder to go the other way around. It is a lot harder for them to take their lead back from the Manoy lineup here.
Drop serpents on the tower here.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
I think they're probably gonna wait for Ursa BKB and Manoy BKB before they like try their high ground push. They'll probably farm
Yeah.
out the map
Oh yeah,
unless they get like lots of picks. So probably next Roche will be a high ground Roche.
yeah. With the
Yeah.
next Roche, with the T2 up right now, there's not really a compelling reason for them to go uphill. So it's definitely not a bad idea to just
Oh.
split.
They might hit 3 BKB timing because Vex has got enough gold for theirs,
It's mine.
and Ursa's like 1,000 gold away. So
Yeah, they will be super
they'll
strong next
hit
bit.
a 3 BKB timing. So there's gonna be like a big problem for OD not being able to do enough damage. They'll have 3 9-second BKBs.
I think Vex is the only person on his team who has a DaBush to 911 clan tag.
So,
Manoy is in the
Pretend that
Denmark
never
clan.
happened.
Manoy's in the Denmark clan?
Yeah, you can see it.
so they're gonna go for smoke here. Of
Huh.
taking a look, seeing what they can find.
And you know, at the very
Not
least,
much.
Danny is
The
sponsored
answer
by
is
Sponsor.
maybe a little bit. Holodeck is in the wrong spot.
Yeah, he was really hoping Clinks was alone. That's definitely starting to really bite Baladec's team as a unit very hard. They're always assuming the most ideal circumstances for goes, and it's like, you can't be such a defeatist that you never take a risk, but like, The idea has to be on the back of your mind that Night Stalker can just fly over the cliff and come beat you up at this point, right? Like, the idea
Well, I
has
think
to be
the
in your
big
mind.
The big problem they have right now is they just don't have any information. They don't have any vision on the map, but no one was farming any waves. So it was kind of risky to just go on that anyways, because they just didn't have any like information about where they were.
Right,
Yeah,
no,
it kind of
that's
reminds me of Panic at the Roche, but last year this team has such a good vision advantage.
it's sort of what I was getting into there. It's like, with the when you have a situation like that, right? There are going to be times. Let's talk real politic, right? There's going to be times when you're in this spot, when the map is dark, when you've got no idea what's going on, and you got to make an informed decision. You got to basically take a guess where things are, and sometimes you don't want to take the most
Danny's in the wrong
pessimistic
spot.
possible guess. You don't want to take a guess that's so negative. And there we just had an exact, just a repeat, the exact same thing happening again. For the two biggest MVPs on this team, the VIPs du jour, right? When you're going to take a guess like that, you don't usually want to just assume, okay, it's going to be 5 on everybody all the time, right? Or else you'll just do nothing in a game like this. You'll just cower behind your T3 until the Ancient falls. That's no way to win a game. That's no way to get, even break some space out to get some wards up. But the problem is that every time Baladec's lineup sees anybody alone, the instant assumption is, oh, well, if 5 were there, I'd be able to see him. Every time they catch a whiff of somebody, they are so hungry for kills that they go all in on it. And oftentimes, even when they have no credible reason to think that somebody isn't around the corner, even when they have no reason to think, like, why wouldn't the team be up there with Clinks? Why wouldn't the team be over here with Clinks and Ursa? Like, there's not really anywhere else for them to be at that moment. Unless you're assuming everyone's doing Roche, but nobody has
to be EKBs.
Okay, they got Manoy in the arena, but
yeah, and did about half his bar.
They just don't have damage to kill him unless they get on him.
Close to enough damage, yeah.
They're playing so far behind at this point. They're likely going to take out Vex here.
OD's got a lot of stacks here.
Yep.
Okay, you got Vex, but
don't think that means much of anything.
Off laner and Grimstroke with the buyback.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah, if nothing else, like,
Radiant's bottom tower
I almost don't know if that was worth
they
the
got
OD
bot
ult.
through as well. So
I guess anybody is worth the OD ult at this point. Like, getting anything done at fights at this point isn't bad, but like, it just isn't a good feel when you get the ult come out like that. You get one guy and he's already done his job. That's the big thing. He's already ulted. He's already gone in. He's already killed your support. He's already gotten Baladec low enough that the other guys can just kick his ass. Well, kind of the other way around. Everybody else got Baladec low enough, and he just dove to kill him.
and bot lane is also super open for the next push now. Like if this team loses the fight, they lose Rex.
They also had to commit so much just to kill the Night Stalker, but they didn't kill anyone else. So if they're committing that much right now, Dire's about to get this agent. I don't know if they're gonna have the tools to be able to finish them off, because Ursa's got a shard now. He's close to BKB, or I mean close to a blink. They already have a BKB, so they're like critical mass right now. I don't think they have the tools.
Everything has to go perfectly for them in a fight.
I've played with Vex. I can tell you he's happy with that.
Any pause 3 should be happy with that. I don't care who you are, Vex or no Vex. If that happens to me, I'm fine with that.
Alright, Manoy's got his BKB. They're probably gonna wait this Ursa Blink because he's like 100 gold away, I'd assume. But they also might just go hang out.
Another set of snakes, so they definitely could.
Shoutouts to Mac Lamb. I don't know who Mac Lamb is, but shoutouts to you whoever you are.
And
It's
pop a
Lambert.
DD on Manoy.
Oh, that's Lambert? Oh, shoutouts to Lambert.
They're
Alright,
really
sneaking
looking for
into the
something.
base.
Yeah. They're looking. This is such an interesting little
Ooh, they're gonna
smoke
catch.
move.
Ooh.
Oh, Danny.
Danny's gotta use his BKB real early.
Yep, that was his 8
Alright, they
seconds.
burn
long.
agent. Okay, good.
Alright, also
Good stuff
going
so far.
Yeah, Ursa's just gonna die very casually here.
Very nice so far. But Manoy's got stuff to clean up, I think.
That was a big lead in here. Everybody on Radiant's having a back. But the creep wave is so far away. They didn't actually bother pushing out the wave at all before they started doing this.
Did they go before
Nothing
Hollywood
happens.
got there? Oh no, he bought back. Yeah, I think that was just kind of a weird go. I think they should have just like traditional, just walked up and hit high ground.
Yeah, I
'Cause they
think it
kinda
should
got,
have
like, split
definitely just waited for the wave, just cut the wave for a while, waited for it to come in, and just went from there. Because that was not no amount was worth that. Especially not worth also just getting a random dieback on Hollywood who's just sticking around. Manoy team getting cocky. I think that's just the long and short of it. They're getting very cocky. They're not respecting the CK at all. Even when you're up, even when it's up, you know, 13 to 23, even when you got that big fat gold advantage, you know, you still got to give some respect to the enemy team. You still got to respect them a little more than that. I think they just kind of were saying, you know, we got Aegis, we win, easy game, easy money, and they've been making these, you know, these little mistakes for a while.
I think DaBush too was super greedy. Not
Like
pressing
Manoy
B.
there, he
Gotta
just went
respawn.
really badly out of position. Now he's dusted, he's silenced, everybody's around him. He has to pop BKB.
He's fine. I think this is his 9-second BKB though, which is or no, 8-second.
Still actually pursuing him. I don't think there's any hope, but
Yeah,
they got
I-
Clink
the
to put down quite a big resource there.
This CK,
Wasn't really
this is
a
what
thing.
we're seeing is like
Down
this
you
Radiant
go.
has a good
I
draft.
shall
They
not
just
report.
didn't win their lanes, and this is I think still a winnable game for them as long as they get good spell usage like they did in the last play.
Right, they get good usage in Manoy's team. I do think there is a little bit where it's like, there is a degree to which the Manoy team, I think, at this juncture does have to give to him. But the thing is that Manoy's team is giving to them, and Baladec's team recognizing that and taking it. They definitely ain't rolling over and dying. You know, we saw a situation last week where Dota was just kind of sitting in base, just letting it happen. And
here's
we're
Logan.
not seeing it this time for sure.
Hollywood pops it, and they're gonna look for someone here.
Gareth, by the way, 3 null talismans rolled over.
Ooh, they might know there's a CK there. No,
Oh, they don't know there's anybody there.
I think
They'll
Baladec's gonna
walk
break
right
the
into
smoke.
Baladec.
All right.
Yeah, Baladec's gonna walk right up
Oh,
and get
slow
deleted.
BKB.
Yeah. I thought
Doesn't have
Baladec had
buyback
figured
either.
out. I thought Baladec knew what was going on, but given the BKB timing, apparently not. It looked very deliberate, right? Like the way he was placing himself there looked really deliberate, but no, he just
All right, we'll probably see them drop serpent wards right here.
Dire structures are fortified.
Delay this as much as possible.
Dire's top
But how much can you delay it?
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
You can delay it until CK's ready to go in. Oh no! He's dead.
Oh, too early with the spell. Long BKB from Ursa. Yep.
Dire's top
I think at this juncture, yeah, this is
Yeah, that's
probably
good.
game over. Odie is gonna
Oh.
buy back, but
has fallen.
without, I mean, he does have BKB and 8, so there's that.
Good
Oh,
double
there?
stun.
But
Oh, Baladec's the hero.
Danny. Mars is dead, no buyback. Yep, it's a 5v3. Another arrow out.
Actually, a super
Well-timed
gutsy
silence.
base
Ooh,
defense.
I think he could have went in on OD perhaps, and
Yeah.
got like a triple stun, killed
I
them all
think
with ult.
they got into their own minds a bit much about the BKB there, not the BKB, the OD there.
OD is a scary hero the longer the fights go though too, but they did have buyback, so. Clinks is close to a Scotty, about a couple thousand gold away. Does have money for a blink dagger on Ursa. I wonder if they will go at this time on the bush. They do.
Clinks has a huge net worth, but I don't feel like he's bought anything in a very long time.
It's because of the Glipnir. The Glipnir costs like a lot of gold, and they also have a shard. So
Well, he is sitting on 4K, so
that's also true.
But he's playing Scotty, so
Yeah.
kind of have to sit on a lot of gold to buy it.
Lynx gets Scotty. It's gonna be a major impact there. You know, one thing that it's easy to forget about the old Eye of Scotland is you're reducing lifesteal 40%. CK, most of his HP at this point really is lifesteal, regen and lifesteal, right? That's basically CK's health bar right now. You get the Scotty out on the CK, and you're inevitably going to do that with Strafe, and you're gonna hurt a lot of his ability to
Going
stay
on
alive in
Baladec.
fights.
Baladec's dead.
There's so much damage with that Glipnir.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, Manoy can kind of just point at anyone and make them die if they're out far enough.
You should apologize.
And with the vision advantage this team has, he can see when they're out, so.
I think level-wise right now, the Dire's like really far ahead.
Yeah, if you look at the scoreboard there, you
The
know,
supports are only level 13.
20 to 16 on the pause 3 is favoring Dire, 17 to 13, and 16 to 13 for the support line.
Radiant are
21 to 20 for the pause 1, so at least CK is on the level, but
I'm not
18 to 23 on the mid, so OD is most certainly not.
They know they're invis and smoked up now because the arrow connected on the Night Stalker.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, they're just gonna. This
Oh,
dieback
Mirana.
Radiant's top
on
tower
Rana.
is
I don't know if that's the guy. I don't know if Mirana's the
They're gonna
guy.
pick up Ursa!
They got
Yeah.
the bush. That's kind of upsetting. But
Oh, he is going to get a set of racks for this while this team
I
plays
think it
out.
doesn't matter unless Manoy does. Like, Manoy has to die for these fights to be worth anything.
Oh, it's a dieback on this OD now.
Yeah,
Yep.
this is... Unfortunately, Manoy didn't die, and that's the only person that matters right now.
Right.
And
He also finished Scotty, but right before that fight started, so.
I think Manoy's gonna go for Mega Creeps here. He's got Scotty
Yeah.
BKB. He's kinda like really hard to kill.
And who can stop him?
Radiant's bottom.
He's gonna just be satisfied with a range Rex, actually. Blue Jay Dust's about an hour too late.
Poor defense.
He's just so fast on
No match.
Blue Jay or on Manoy.
Right.
So that fight was okay for CK, but kind of bad for the rest of the Radiant, I think. They lost to Rex, they lost OD, who's dead for a very long time because it was a dieback.
Right.
I think if OD can survive that fight and he gets like a kill, he's got his Hex right now.
Probably, and Hex actually does change a lot. The ability to just casually Hex Ursa definitely changes a lot. If he had it like 5 to 8 minutes ago, like he probably would have had this game gone more to the Baladec game plan. At least the presumed game plan, anyway. If the item had better timing, then this would be a lot more feasible for them right now, but as it stands, they're still just kind of on their last thread. Like, no matter how many little victories they get, it feels like so little comes out of it for them. Like, you know, and it's always at such a great cost. It's like, yeah, CK just demolishes Ursa, and that's great, but you lost a buyback on OD, and you lost to Rax. You know, alright, we forced Lynx to rout at the start of the fight, and we get some cool kills. We knock out the 3 and under club, and all it cost us was our own 3 and under club. Hooray, you
And a
know.
Roshan as well.
This is an Ags Rush. I wonder who takes this one. They're gonna give it to Ursa. Okay, so now I don't think they can kill Ursa. Because
Nope.
before they'd been killing Ursa from the Grimstroke silence into like stuns, because Ursa was being a little bit greedy with the BKB, but now that won't be as big of an issue because Ursa can just ult. So
Right.
Yeah, and they're gonna look to fight with it immediately.
No surprise
Oh,
here.
this-
They also have the
push up
cheese
roll.
out on Clanks.
I think too, if they want, if Radiant's going to win this game, they have to win probably like 3 or 4 fights in a row to be able to take enough objectives to end the game.
And even
Yeah,
if they
they
win
can't
3 or
lose
4
one.
fights in a row, you still have to do the absolutely miserable ordeal of pushing uphill against Shaman and Clinks and Skyrath Mage, which is just the definition
Okay,
of no
the-
fun. Baladec
Balls
was a
the
very
arena
brave,
by Baladec.
great-
He's
Very
dead, he
brave
says
arena.
buyback.
immediate buyback, but you already arena'd. What good are you? At
How
this
important that
juncture,
is. Okay, Emma.
God.
Ursa and Vex are chained together, but they really don't care much. Yeah,
There
the
you go,
Grimstroke
Vegas.
Ultras went for nothing.
That might just be GG. Holy,
Yeah, they're just gonna
holy
finish.
Skyrath damage.
Yeah, there you go. Skyrath keeping them pinned in their base.
Yeah, that's GG. This Clinks just like wasn't addressed in any way, and they lost all their lanes, so it's kind of hard to win.
I mean,
Yeah,
the
I mean,
funny
what
thing
can we
is
do?
that I feel like this is a scenario where losing the lanes, especially considering like top lane was, I would say, more of a draw. I would say top was more of a draw. Mid, I think, went in OD's favor generally, but the immediate fallout of it definitely went against him as he just kind of
I
took 3
think those-
deaths in a row.
Yeah, those 3 deaths in a row like really hurt the OD's game because they were in a really good spot.
Yeah.
But
OD, so
think
really that's the more accurate thing is they did okay for themselves in lane phase. I would say, you know, top draw mid in favor of Epstein, but they weren't able to capitalize on it at all. They weren't able to translate that to any significant degree into mid-game success.
Mars also got an early blink and it didn't turn into like any kills really,
Right.
other than like
They just couldn't get anybody. I mean,
they didn't kill the Clinks, they didn't kill the Ursa with it, so what can you do?
Mhm.
right. I think the biggest thing there is the kill that they desperately needed was on the Clinks early, and they just never got him. Not really sure why we didn't see the arenas fall on the Clinks as more, but you know how it goes. Either way,
Lobby's up.
if you're on YouTube, we'll see you next time. If you're on a stream, we'll see you right now.